So the Penn State coaching search has been a disaster. They've had since October to look for a new head coach, and they have gotten no results from it whatsoever. Usually, when you fire a coach in like October and November, you might have a little bit of an advantage because you can start your head coaching search earlier than other teams, like we saw with LSU and Florida. But this has not been the case for Penn State at all. They have struggled to get a coach to come to their program. There were some rumors about Kalani Sitake. I know they had a few interviews, but Crimble Cookie stepped in and they weren't going to allow that to happen. And not only they haven't found a head coach, but they're losing all of their recruits. And funny enough, they're all flipping to Virginia Tech to go play for James Franklin, the coach they just fired. And that was always my issue too. Speaking of James Franklin, firing him was a decision I didn't necessarily agree with. I thought James Franklin was a really good head coach. I don't think he was like one of the best in the league, like a Kirby Smart or a Ryan Day. But I think most people would agree James Franklin was a top 10, top 15 head coach. Maybe at the time it seemed like it made sense to move off him after this rough season that they've had, losing to UCLA and then losing as well to Northwestern the next week. The firing made sense maybe at the time because it felt like everything was crumbling. But now we're seeing the amount of success James Franklin's had recruiting, stealing all the Penn State recruits that they just recruited. And now it looks like that program's going to be really good. And now you're stuck not even able to get Jeff Brom or a Brent Key, guys you potentially could have gotten, but they just got an extension. So I'm not really sure where they go from here. I think they're just going to go with the interim head coach, Terry Smith, who did a decent job after James Franklin got fired. I thought the team played hard with them. They were very competitive against Indiana, almost upset them, actually. I'm not the first person to say this, but usually hiring the interim in any sport is never a good idea. It almost never works, or hiring from within the organization doesn't always work. I know it worked with sometimes with coaches like Ryan Day, but it's not always a necessary guarantee, and sometimes you just got to do a coaching search from outside of the organization. But the boosters, from what I've read, seem to like Terry Smith, and they want Penn State to pursue him. So I don't know if Terry Smith's going to be necessarily an upgrade over James Franklin. I don't think most people would have saw this as a win back in October. I think most people were hoping that they can maybe poach someone from a different school or get one of the top coordinators like a Will Stein, a Tosh Lapoy, or a Brian Hartline, but they all went to different schools, and it didn't even seem like they were considering Penn State. And I think Penn State's not a bad job. I think they have a good recruiting pipeline. They have a lot of NIL money. It's a big brand, but we're seeing that that's not always the case now. It seems like this is just a very chaotic and incompetent athletic department, and they're not doing a very good job with this coaching search. And I don't know what this team's going to look like next year. I know they have a pretty easy out-of-conference play, but they have a pretty tough in-conference schedule next year. So this could be a team that could potentially win like 4 or 5 games next year with how bad the recruiting's been and with the way the coaching cycle's been going. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. Let me know what you guys think, though. Thank you guys for watching.